Welcome back to Etiquette UK. I am delighted to have you joining me today. Etiquette UK is here for you. Continue watching if you'd like to know more about asking clarifying questions. So the first thing we want to ask ourselves, what are clarifying questions? Why are clarifying questions important? And also the benefits of asking clarifying questions. Let's reflect more on clarifying questions. And why would we ask clarifying questions? Clarifying questions are used in situations where you're having a conversation, maybe it's a friend, a colleague, you're at university, in a meeting with family members, and you don't quite understand what they're saying. So you're going to get them to clarify it. So you're putting the ball back into their court. Rather than saying, I don't understand what you're saying, you get them to clarify or to explain it to you in a different way so that you understand. It shouldn't be left for you to try and figure out what they're saying. It's up to them to explain to you in a way that you grasp what they're saying. Anyone you have a conversation with who leaves you having negative self-talk, the problem is not with you, it's with them. You should not be left having negative self-talk such as, I am stupid because I don't understand what they're saying. No, you are not stupid, and I'll explain why. By telling you more about the story of the Emperor's New Clothes. This is a story written by Hans Christian Andersen. He wrote stories like Pinocchio and The Ugly Duckling. They were stories that tended to come out in December when everyone was at home and it was a family, wholesome story with a moral twist. Written by Hans Christian Andersen, a Danish author and poet. The book was first published in 1837, which is in the 19th century. Comment below if you're familiar with the story. The Emperor's New Clothes is a story about the importance of honesty, independent thinking. The Emperor, in his vanity, was tricked into believing he was wearing clothing that only highly intelligent people could see. And if he wasn't an highly intelligent person, then this garment would be invisible to you. And that anyone who couldn't see this incredible garment that the Emperor was wearing, this would be a sign that you were stupid and incompetent. As a result, everyone in the kingdom pretended that they could see the clothing, even though they could not, for fear of being thought they were foolish. In the end, the only person who actually was honest was a young child who was honest enough to say, the Emperor's not wearing any clothes. And everyone looked round as if to say, yes, we agree with you. What does this story teach us? It teaches us the importance of being honest, even when it is difficult or unpopular, it also is important for us to think for ourselves and not be blindly led by the crowd or by someone who is highly intelligent, even if you know that what they're saying doesn't ring right with you. Here are some key lessons that we can learn from the Emperor's New Clothes. Honesty is always the best policy. Even if it's difficult or unpopular, it's important to be honest with ourselves. Never be rude. We should not be afraid to speak up for what is right, even if it means going against the crowd. Again, it doesn't mean being rude. It is important to think for ourselves and not be blindly led by the majority. Onlookers of the Emperor's New Clothes, because they wanted to have people think that they were intelligent, were saying things like, the Emperor's clothes, they look incredible. His suit is impeccable. It's of the finest cloth. However, all this was untrue, and it was the young boy who pointed out the truth. It gives you time to ask clarifying questions so that you can understand what it is highly intelligent people are telling you that you don't understand, because it's not been explained in a way for you to understand. So it's very important also to understand that appearances can be deceiving. We should not judge people based solely on their appearance alone. The Emperor's New Clothes is a timeless story that has been enjoyed by people of all ages throughout the centuries. It's a good reminder of the importance to be honest and independent thinking, and that courage is an incredible thing, and politeness is the overall factor when we're trying to put a point across. If we're finding we are not understanding what an highly intelligent person is explaining to us, politely ask clarifying questions. Why are clarifying questions important? Clarifying questions are important because they help to ensure that everyone is on the same page. They can help to avoid misunderstandings and miscommunications. The next time you're in a meeting and you get to the end of the meeting and the dreaded question when the tutor or the person conducting the meeting asks, does anyone have any questions? And it gets very quiet. This is your opportunity to ask an open-ended question. You're going to be now inviting the tutor to provide you with more information. So while you're listening in the meeting and there's a word or a sentence that you do not understand, write that word or sentence down, and this is now your opportunity to say, can you tell me more about that? So whatever your word or sentence is, can you tell me more about, and then mention your word or your sentence. And that's where you can contribute to questions at the end of a meeting without it being too technical or too difficult for the tutor to answer for everyone's benefit. And that way you won't feel foolish, you won't be asking a question that's foolish because it's something that's been said in the meeting. If nobody else has decided to contribute to a question at the end of the meeting, you can now do that. Here's another example of a clarifying question in a different context. Let's look at a work setting. Again, you can say, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking me to do. Can you please explain it to me again? The next setting could be when you have to speak with customer service. And if you are faced with this situation, it always goes badly. You can start by telling them, I'm having trouble with my account. Can you help me, please? And leave it at that. And if you start off in a kind, pleasant tone, then things with customer service will go well. They'll go the way you want them to go because you haven't allowed them to get irate or to spiral out of control. You've kept it to the point and you've asked for help. When a customer service situation is calm, you can then go on to explain your problem that you require help with. Our next scenario can be in connection with personal relationships. We know this can be extremely difficult in this busy world that we're living in. But again, we're going to try and get to common ground. And you can ask the clarifying questions in terms of, I'm not sure what you're feeling right now. Can you tell me more so I can understand? When asking clarifying questions, it's important to be respectful and non-judgmental. You should always avoid asking too many questions, as this can be overwhelming for the other person. The benefit of clarifying questions is that it's going to help you with your communication skills. Asking clarifying questions shows that you're listening, so it's going to improve your listening skills and that you are interested in what the other person has to say. It can help to build rapport and trust. It will reduce misunderstanding. Clarifying questions help to ensure that you understand what the other person is saying correctly. This will help you to avoid misunderstandings or miscommunications. You will start to develop better decision making because you're going to make it clear that you understand the situation you're in, and that way you'll make a more informed decision. You'll now start to develop problem-solving skills. Clarifying questions will help you identify what the problem is and give you more chance to find a solution to the problem because you've developed your clarifying questions and technique. I'd really encourage you to start asking clarifying questions. Start today. Who are you with now? Ask them a clarifying question. It's a simple way to improve your communication skills and start to build better and stronger relationships.